We are a makerspace, which is a shared workshop where we can teach people how to use the tools like woodworking, metalworking, 3D printers to make ideas into businesses. So we're really about providing that access to tools that people would not necessarily have in order to create a more professional level finish of the things they may already be making. This location really, the mission of it is to be focused on artisan makers. So those are people who are handcrafting work like the musicians you'll see today, who are handcrafting instruments and making those really beautiful, unique pieces to sell to the public.
NextFab has played a huge role in my success. As a makerspace, they've allowed me to up a lot of the processes that I just didn't have the right tools.
That's where NextFab came in. The kind of bandsaw that you really need to split a log, especially the 7-foot log that I made the Dig we use today out of. You come in, the blades are always sharp, everything's where it's supposed to be. And it's really changed my way of working.
In an urban environment like Philadelphia, nobody really has the space to have their own workshop, right? And I think people are realizing more and more how much of a necessity it is to be creative. It's who we are as humans, and so creative in a variety of different ways, be it music or art or just even engineering.
Ethan was one of our original community members of the earlier version of this location, which was about a quarter of the size. He came in wanting to build his own drum. Didn't really have any experience doing it, just wanted to take our classes, talk to our experts, and really see how to actually accomplish what he was imagining in his mind.
As a drummer, before I ever started building, I was just looking for something different, and I wanted to go with something much more high-end, but I couldn't really afford it at the time. And so I just kind of felt like, I might as well try it, start doing it myself.
As you can probably tell, his drums are beautiful. People just kept asking for more and more and more, and he finally eventually created a company around it.
Our whole mission here at Philadelphia Drum Company is to kind of bring instrument building back to what I think of as its roots, where the instruments are really made by hand, crafted with care, intention goes into everyone. The Philadelphia Orchestra has always been a big part of my life, and it's really a dream come true to be able to watch them play the drums, especially with such exciting pieces that they chose.
You're going to hear a piece by Russell Peck called Lift-Off. He wrote it in the late 60s, and it was meant to imitate literally the lifting off of a Saturn V rocket heading to the moon. Second piece is the Trio by William Kraft. And William Kraft wrote this piece for the Philadelphia Orchestra percussion section back in the mid-1960s. Then there's a piece that I wrote, a piece that it's not really written, it's an improvisational organized piece for 2 hang drums. Hang drums are a metal, has different panels that give different pitches. Mine is in D, Chris's is in G. We trade off back and forth. And then Angie and Ethan are accompanying us.
To see them play the drums and then to get the opportunity to even just play with them was really, it's going to be a highlight of my life that I'll remember forever. I was just thinking while I was up there, man, I wish I was videoing this so I could show my grandchildren. And then I thought, oh, wait, cool.
dirt. At the end of the day, porcelain is dirt, and I'm making dirt make sound. I am going to be making a porcelain cast of a vinyl record from one of the Philadelphia Orchestra's recordings. It's a process of mold making. So I'll be making a mold out of plaster of a single side of a vinyl. And after that dries, I'll go through a process of pouring porcelain slip cast into the mold. And then as that dries, it'll turn into greenware, and then I can fire it and it'll become ceramic porcelain. And it'll create almost an exact copy, except it'll be in a different unconventional material that comes with its own sounds added on to the recording. Porcelain's a pretty precious material in the eyes of a lot of people, and vinyl in 2020 is just kind of like junk plastic and not well taken care of anymore. So it kind of brings it back to that precious elevation as a medium that it used to be. At the end of the day, it's all creativity, exploration, problem solving. I think that's the connecting thread between all of them.
When I discovered that the guitar was something that people were out there making and that could be made by hand, there was something really inspiring about that, and I literally in high school decided that that was something where I was going to do.
This is the bass that Ryan Hyde has made, and when we got involved with him, I fell in love with this instrument.
In my opinion, a guitar is the sum of its parts. So when you use the best possible pieces of lumber, when you use the best electronics, when you use the best hardware, and then you use the most care that you can when you build it, you do get something that is greater than the sum of its parts in a way.
Scott Keeley is a longtime member of NextFab. He is a patent attorney, has worked one-on-one with our makers to coach them into, what patents are right for them, but also on the side, he makes these didgeridoos. I know that he suffers from sleep apnea, and that the didgeridoo can actually help.
I have mild sleep apnea, and my doctor said, well, it's a little known fact. We don't understand why, but didgeridoo players don't snore. So I said, well, that's for me. Started playing the didgeridoo, and good ones are not cheap, like any musical instrument. So I decided to make one. A didgeridoo is known as the oldest, most sacred instrument on the planet. It originally comes from Australia, where they were typically made out of termite hollowed logs only. So that's part of the process, is finding the log. And then we split it lengthwise down the center. And carve it out like a dugout canoe, and then we glue them back together, and then polish and finish. We've been breathing either in or out since the moment we saw daylight. And so you've never tried to put something out while taking something in. And so as soon as you can puff up your cheeks, and when you go to take a breath, you kind of while breathing in. I first started learning that way, and it sounded awful. It would sound like so it might sound like that at the beginning, and as long as you can keep some sound squirting out while you're breathing in, eventually you can make the sound better till it the Sculthorpe string quartet in C. You know, it's a modern piece. It's more about textures that are moving and changing as we go, which fits very well with the didgeridoo.
It still fell off.